Alrighty, guys, let's get it. Welcome to today's session where we're going to be focusing on trading NAS100. We got 2 minutes till the takeoff. So we're going to be looking at all the indices with the focus on the NASDAQ, trading, finding support and resistance. And the theme of today is really being able to find the overall direction. What I've been seeing is that the market usually takes off, all right, makes it a move for maybe 30 seconds to literally about 45 seconds or a minute, minute and a half at the latest, and then starts to kind of form and do its own thing. So one of the first things that we're doing is finding our 4-hour time zones, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Typically, I may go by the body and or the wick, and I'm just finding the areas where the market has had a lot of resistance, where we've seen multiple touches, and this is great possibilities and long-term TPs that we'll look at. So you can see here in the market, obviously this right here was a complete, almost engulfed it at the top, but definitely fully pushed all the way down. It filled back up to the top of this range. Probably could draw a fib and see that. All right. And then it's working its way down. So my bias as of right now is the small sell. All right. Just based off what we're seeing. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this market try to buy up a little bit first. It's kind of tough to even place another market here. Look to buy up a little bit first and then go ahead and sell us back down. Let's see if we're right. You know, every time that I've traded this week and these last couple of weeks, we've seen big moves and then that eventual push. So what I'm looking for, if my bias is to sell, that's fine. I want to see this thing fly up. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move these colors a bit down, maybe to like a red. And then there's also the 5-minute strategy as well. If you want to be super safe, you wait for 5 minutes, see how the trade kind of breaks out. All right. And of course, if you want to completely, catch this thing for the quick buy, there's a possibility as well right here. I'm kind of just verbally calling out some of these moves. All right, verbally speaking, we're looking at this big boy push on the buy now. And then the goal is to find when and where this trade can drop off for that sell. So as of right now, you see that early push. I know we didn't necessarily get it marked down, but verbally, at least could have been able to understand how this buy right here is money. And look at this. It just shot up. I'm actually glad I didn't write anything down because you see how fast this thing's move. I think it shot from 360 and just blitzed all the way up, to 440 at the highest. And so what this means for us and what I'm particularly looking at, it probably could have missed it, but it's fine. I'm looking at this market potentially selling down. And so we knew, all right, just being smart and disciplined, we knew that the market was going to push up first. The thing that we're not aware of is how far that it's going to go. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger. All right. It's okay if you feel like you missed a move. This thing is going to fly a lot of points. I haven't even popped anything yet. I'm still looking at sales long term. So it's all good. All right. If you're just watching, that's A-OK. All right. These were the two sell entries that I originally, had at least from a physical perspective on the screen. And we'll see if it can respect these areas. If you guys jumped in for a quick sell, that's fine. If you're still waiting like myself, kind of just watching, figuring out what's happening, that's A-OK as well. But this was beautiful. Obviously, this one didn't get hit at the top. But if you pop even right here, anywhere towards the top, quick close that down 20, 30 points. Let's reset because we want to see how this 5-minute actually ends here. So what we'll do here to identify the 5 as this thing is sliding back up is go ahead and place more horizontal lines. We'll kind of make these lines maybe orange. All right. And this will mean, this is where the 5-minute ended and where the 5-minute finished. And so we still got 3 minutes on that, which is why I haven't popped anything yet. The reason why I've kind of reverted to that delayed strategy, it's just been difficult, right? To kind of, we played that well if you would have bought at that particular time frame, but it's not the most easy like or intuitive to kind of catch some of those moves. Obviously at the top here was good, but you seeing it buy right back up. We really got to wait till this 5-minute finishes. We'll find the middle point and then we'll get the retest and we'll be gravy. Or if it consolidates, we'll wait for that next breakout. All right. So right now, again, my bias is still to sell. So if you got in at the top or if you got in, in the middle zone, you're decent. All right. Let's start thinking about where our take profits are. Obviously, we may adjust as this 5-minute goes ahead and completes. But if anybody's in the quick sell, as long as you got in a little bit delayed, all right, just want y'all to listen to me for a quick second. If y'all got in a little bit delayed, this is a good opportunity to collect, especially if you over leverage. You're probably up right now. As long as you didn't sell at the bottom, you waited a little bit. All right, it's a great time probably to get out of the trade. Going to anticipate maybe one last buy. Or if you didn't over leverage, right? If you got in with a really good lot size, this could be the long-term hold and this thing push all the way down. All right. Somebody said we did the buy made 1300. Okay, amazing. Yeah, that buy was quick. It's very fast. I think it will still buy back up once again, just from the history of what we've seen are in and out of these markets. But so far, look at this bearish push. We've already seen almost a double top. The second is a little bit lower. Great indication for the drop. I know I didn't list these TPs yet, so it'll feel like, okay, yo, Naj is just writing, random stuff. But nah, like, it's valid. We definitely verbally was committed to the sell. We did a good job, right? Delayed gratification. We got some folks buy it up, but you gotta have a finger on the trigger for that. Amazing sell. Anybody still in? You're doing a really good job. We can probably line up this TP3 down here from this is one of our bottom level zones. So if you're still in, it may hit it before I can even write exactly what we're looking at here, but this is a beautiful sell. Textbook, move your stop loss into profit at this point. All right, because it doesn't get a lot better than this, especially if you bought in the 400s. Oh my gosh, it's going past the TP that I wrote. It's moving faster than I can type and anticipate, which is great, especially when it's going in our way, man. So if you're in the sales, I caught a couple. I was able to kind of pop again once it flew up here. Even if you got in at the split once again, this is beautiful, 50, 60, plus points. Again, do me that favor and take the money, right? It's right back there at the TP. And or let's go ahead and move your stop loss into profit for safety, right? My job here is teaching. We're learning, we're seeing the direction, which is great. But we also want to secure profits. All right, so we'll take a quick moment to do that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing for a quick moment. All right. I saved him today. Yo, it's crazy. It's so easy. Like, you in the other way and it's lights out, right? Imagine if you went full commitment to the buy and like that original move is not bad, right? That original buy, it did its thing, but it was so quick, right? You got to pull that money at the top. It's a secondary move, right? Where we're thinking the 1 plus the 2 and then the 3, right? We got to actually build and flow into it. All right. So this is beautiful. I don't even have all the TPs lined up. We probably can, go ahead and assume this is a good TP5 at the bottom here. If it drops all the way this low, this is amazing. Me personally, I went ahead and closed most of my positions and moved my SL into profit just because that's, it really hit my goals. On these big type of days, man, you can use regular trading lots and do so good, man. You can really hit your goals. It doesn't take long. All right. And you see the market pulling back up. So if anybody that closed, you did a really good job. All right. Really good job of just closing, collecting, and we potentially can reset. If you haven't popped anything yet, it's kind of tricky at this point, right? Because the move is not done, right? It's definitely not dead, but it's going to retest. And some of these I've seen retests where it goes all the way back up. You know what I mean? So if you have an entry in at the 400 or even mid 350s, 360s, or whatever that number is for you, just be cautious of that. I would have probably taken my money where I recommended at the TP3 and under. And if you're somebody who's like, yo, let's find the next drop. Let's see. I don't know, right? We got to wait for this next 5 minutes to play out and then see what happens. But so far, this drop was great. This is a secondary move, hard to anticipate this quick buy up. I'm still looking at this thing going down today. All right. So I'm anticipating, a little bit more of these buys and then an eventual, drop back down. So let's get it. Let's get it. I'm going to check the chat again. Right. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't even showing too much. Yeah, it was nice to join. Absolutely. It's good to see y'all. It's good to see y'all. Got some of my people in here for sure. So this is what I was trying to show right here. We're looking at the market moving up slightly. Maybe some small buy opportunities. And at the top of this 5 minute, all right, there's no way to know for sure, right? But we're looking at this continuation back to the TP3. All right. And then just for the sake of it, we'll go ahead and lock in this TP4. It should be about this midway point. All right, no rhyme or reason here. We're just really confident in the overall trade dropping. And we've at least been able to hit this in the beginning. All right. So if you guys rebought, All right, over these last couple of minutes, really great resell. Look at this. Whoosh. Came back, tapped our zone. All right, and then slid right down, guys. If you haven't closed yet, this would be another good time. If you like, yo, I'm strong. I want to stay in this thing, right? Amazing, 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 amazing. All right, I'm looking right at it. I love what I see. I see this thing easily pushing to the TP4. Once it hits this zone, we'll go ahead and call it a day. I'm gonna just quick record this bad boy. It's a good day, man. It's a great day. All right. All right, so beautiful day on the charts today. We were able to kind of slide in, catch this rejection and retracement, and then push the move all the way down. We got a couple folks on the call. So I got a phone out, let's record. All right, and then once it hits this TP4 at this bottom level, we'll go ahead and close and collect. But very beautiful push down, man. Very simple. All right, so we got about 8 points left. All right. This for me will be my final. I'm finished. Of course, it could retest. So do be very careful if you have any of these remaining cells in. We'll give it a couple of minutes. It got pretty close, man. It looks like it hit it here on this one. It didn't fully push through, but got pretty close to this level. And I know some of these numbers aren't accurate. We're trading on different brokers. Like I'm using Genesis FX. If y'all need that broker, I'll drop that in the chat. So those numbers may be different. But even more the reason why, look, kind of getting out of there, resetting is always the best. Now, couldn't this thing retest again? All right, let's see. We got this 5-minute, should be coming out in a couple of seconds. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let's get it. I like that. Immediate drop. If you guys sold again, textbook. All right, and you have another opportunity to close right there at the TP3, bleed it down a little bit more. But that's it, man. So, these trading sessions, I'm still doing 3 times a week. Sometimes, I just throw it up in the air, get some really good people, man. I should trade with a lot, get some good ideas. If you tried to buy, hopefully you guys were buying at the bottom. I know we had a couple buys in early off that first push, which is good. And, don't be surprised to see that full retracement, right? To see that full retracement. So great trading day. I feel like I did my job. All right. If y'all need me for any reason, feel free to shoot me a message in the chat. And then we'll be back at it on Thursday. If you need full access, let me know. Otherwise, let's get it. And I hope you guys have a great day, man. Peace. We in and out. Peace, y'all.